It's Sunday afternoon. Everything is done. The house is quiet. No deadlines screaming at you. No boss hovering. No urgent messages demanding your attention. On paper, this is the moment you've been waiting for all week. And yet, instead of peace, something else arrives. A tightness in your chest. Strange restlessness in your body. Your phone feels heavier in your pocket, as if it's vibrating, even when it's not. And a familiar voice rises in your mind, calm but cruel. You should be doing something. You're wasting time. You're falling behind. Here's the question no one ever asks you. If rest is safe, why does it feel like danger? Most men assume this feeling means they're lazy, undisciplined, or broken in some way. They tell themselves it's just anxiety, just their personality, just how they're wired. They wear it like a badge of honor. I can't relax, they say, half proud, half exhausted, as if the inability to sit still is proof of ambition, as if peace is something weak men indulge in. But what if that discomfort isn't a flaw at all? What if it's a symptom? There's a name for what you're experiencing. It's called leisure sickness. It's the strange phenomenon where the moment work stops, your body revolts. Headaches, irritability, anxiety, a low-grade sense of dread. You don't feel free when the pressure lifts. You feel lost, empty, almost ill. And the common explanation is comforting because it lets you avoid the truth. You tell yourself you're just driven, just wired differently, born this way, but you weren't born like this. You weren't born unable to sit still. You weren't born guilty for resting. You weren't born with a nervous system that panics in silence. You were trained into it, conditioned slowly, quietly, so thoroughly that you mistake the cage for your personality. You live inside an invisible architecture, one so effective you never see it, yet it shapes how you think, how you feel, and most importantly, how you judge yourself. It's an architecture designed with a single purpose: to make you impossible to satisfy. No finish line. No moment where you're allowed to stop. Just an endless sense that whatever you've done, it's never enough. This architecture runs on a simple belief that your worth as a human being is equal to your usefulness. That time not spent producing value is time wasted. That rest must justify itself by making you more efficient later. And once this belief infects you, rest becomes impossible, because rest has no immediate output. Long before you were born, this belief was given a name. It was called the logic of total work. The idea that a human being is nothing more than a worker, and that any moment not devoted to productivity is morally suspect, not neutral, not innocent, suspect. Once this logic takes hold, guilt becomes automatic. You don't need a boss watching you. You don't need orders. You don't even need deadlines. The voice is already inside you, policing you, pressuring you, whispering that you haven't earned the right to exist yet. And to understand how that voice got there, we need to look at a design that was never meant for you, but ended up shaping your entire world. In the 18th century, a philosopher designed what he believed to be the perfect prison. It wasn't built with chains or whips or torture. It was built with visibility. In the center stood a tower. Around it, a ring of cells. The prisoners could see the tower at all times, but they could never see inside it. They never knew whether they were being watched. The guard might be there. He might not, but the uncertainty was the point. Because when you might be watched, you behave as if you are watched. Over time, something remarkable happens. The guard becomes unnecessary. The tower can be empty. The prisoner has learned to monitor himself. He becomes his own warden. Control is no longer enforced from the outside. It's internalized. This design wasn't just a prison. It was a blueprint. And today, you live inside a version of it. Look around. It's classrooms with desks in rows, all facing forward. Offices designed with open plans. No walls, no privacy. Not because collaboration requires it, but because visibility does. Systems built to ensure you were always seen, always measurable, always comparable. You are watched by metrics now. Grades, scores, performance indicators, engagement numbers, productivity dashboards. You are constantly measured against an average, and the moment you fall below it, something happens. You feel shame, you feel inadequate, you feel abnormal. And the fear of that feeling keeps you in line far more effectively than force ever could. But surveillance alone doesn't explain the guilt. Guilt requires something deeper. Guilt requires morality. At some point, work stopped being just a necessity and became a virtue. In the past, you worked to survive. When survival was secured, you rested. Okay? But in the modern world, rest became suspicious. Work became a measure of moral worth. So hard work wasn't just practical, it was righteous. Even after religion faded, the structure remained. The God changed, but the guilt didn't. Now, the God is the economy, the market, growth, and the sin is still the same: idleness. So when you sit on the couch on a Sunday afternoon, you don't feel relaxed. You feel like you're doing something wrong. Not because anyone told you so, but because the belief is already wired into you. You feel like you're failing some invisible test. And here's where the trap tightens. In the past, control was external. Someone told you what to do. Someone enforced the rules. If you were exhausted, you could point to the system and say, "This is what's doing it to me." Okay? But today, control is internal. Only yourself, and that makes rest feel like betrayal, not of the system, but of your own potential. You don't rest because you feel you haven't earned it, 'cause you never earn it, because the work is never done, and that's why stopping feels unbearable. Why does silence feel heavier than noise? Why does doing nothing feel more exhausting than doing everything? And why, when the world finally leaves you alone, do you immediately go looking for something, anything to fill the space? For most of human history, stress had a shape. It came suddenly, burned brightly, and ended. Danger appeared. The body responded. The danger passed. The system shut off. You returned to stillness, to firelight, to rest. Stress had a beginning, a middle, and an end. But the modern world broke that rhythm. Today, stress doesn't attack you, it drips into you, constantly. Notifications, deadlines, news cycles, financial pressure, social comparison. None of it kills you outright. But none of it ever leaves either. Your nervous system never gets the signal that it's safe to stand down. So, instead of spikes of adrenaline, you live with a constant low-level flood of cortisol, day after day. Year after year, your body adapts the way it always does. And adaptation comes with a price. Your baseline changes. Stress becomes normal. Calm becomes unfamiliar. And when stress finally stops on a Sunday afternoon, for example, your body doesn't interpret the silence as safety. It interprets it as a threat. Something is wrong. Something is missing. Hence, you reach for your phone. Not because you care, not because you're curious, but because you're uncomfortable. You're not looking for pleasure. You're looking for relief. A headline, a notification, it's a small spike of anxiety to bring you back to baseline. This is why rest feels wrong. You're not addicted to work. You're addicted to the chemistry of stress, okay? And when it disappears, you experience withdrawal. That restless feeling isn't ambition, it's dependency. And we cover it up with busyness, because busyness has become the ultimate status symbol. In the past, wealth meant leisure. idleness was proof of power. Today, exhaustion plays that role. But someone asks how you've been, and you say, busy. You're not complaining. You're signaling worth, importance, demand. For men, especially, this is lethal. You're taught early that your value lies in what you provide, what you produce, what you protect. If you're not useful, you're invisible. And rest feels like disappearing. So you don't rest to recover, okay? You rest to reload, to get back into the fight, okay? To prove you're still needed. And the thought of stepping off the treadmill terrifies you not because of what you might lose, but because of what you might discover. Silence is confrontational. When the noise stops, you have to meet yourself. Say, many men don't like who's waiting there. The questions rise uninvited. Is this life actually mine? Is this relationship working? Am I proud of how I'm living? These questions have no productivity value, no KPI, no immediate solution. So you drown them out with work, with screens, with exhaustion. You choose the exhaustion of the body over the terror of the mind. You would rather be tired than conscious. Even rest has been corrupted. You don't sleep because you enjoy it. You sleep to function better. You don't take vacations to live. You take them to recharge. Notice the language? Recharge, like a battery, a machine. And machines only rest so they can work again. Real leisure, the kind that exists for its own sake, has almost vanished. Everything must justify itself, even joy. If it doesn't make money, improve performance, or optimize health, it feels wasteful. So hobbies become side hustles. Walks become step counts. Creativity becomes content. You monetize your joy and then wonder why it feels empty. Everything you do is for something else. When do you actually live? There is a way out, but it doesn't come from hacks or optimization. It comes from remembering something you've been trained to forget, that your time is finite. Not later, not eventually. Now, when you truly grasp that your days are numbered, something strange happens. The urgency collapses. The trivial loses its grip. The idea of selling your life cheaply, 2 emails, 2 metrics, 2 endless striving starts to feel obscene. The most dangerous man to the system is not the angriest one. It's the one who knows his time is short and refuses to waste it. This is why learning to do nothing is revolutionary. Not as a technique, not as a tool, but as a stance. Sitting, existing, without justification, without output, without guilt. Letting the withdrawal pass, letting the nervous system relearn safety, and eventually something shifts. Pisces becomes tolerable, then spacious, then honest. You remember how to live without being useful. And that is the one thing the system cannot allow, but cannot stop either, because you are not a battery. You are a person, and you have the right to be useless.